It all started when local researchers picked up unusual sonar disturbances off the coast, enough to trigger concern from the Coast Guard. Something big had hit the ocean floor hard. Captain Izzy Barkley and her team were dispatched to investigate. Izzy, a seasoned marine researcher, was the first to dive. It didn't take long to spot the object, a metallic container buried beneath the sea. At first glance, it looked like a standard shipping container. But something was off. When the ship's heavy-duty crane began hauling it to the surface, the entire vessel groaned under the weight. The crew was puzzled. It shouldn't have been that heavy. Once it hit the deck, they gathered around. The container was unusually sealed and bone-dry even after days underwater, which made no sense. Izzy warned her team to open it slowly. With bolt cutters in hand, they carefully cracked it open. What they found made their blood run cold. Inside, the container was fully furnished: a bed, a couch, a closet, a dining table. Photos of a man and his family were scattered around. Everything was bolted down like someone had lived there or been forced to. Did someone actually live in here? Izzy asked in disbelief. The team searched every inch, finding no immediate clues until a colleague discovered a sealed plastic bag with a recorder inside. To their relief, the device still worked. A voice came through, panicked, breathless. "I need to record this before they find us. Lives are at stake." The man identified himself as Ahmed Osman. He said he was aboard a ship called the Evercargo Voyager, and he begged whoever found the recording to help. Then silence. Izzy and her team were stunned. Who was Ahmed? What had happened to him? A name and a plea were all they had, but it was enough to take action. They dug into the ship's records. It had docked rarely despite being filled with containers. Why would a cargo ship avoid loading or unloading? They traced the vessel's last known location. It was nearby, 20 kilometers offshore, oddly stationary. Izzy contacted the Coast Guard and police, who helped devise a plan. Disguised as researchers studying fish migration, they approached in a dinghy. After a tense wait, the Voyager's captain allowed them aboard for just 1 hour. Inside, everything appeared normal, too normal. It was clear the crew had tried to hide something. Izzy wandered the corridors, calling out softly, "Ahmed Osman?" To her shock, a container door creaked open. A hand pulled them inside. The container looked just like the one they'd pulled from the ocean, except it was occupied. Cramped inside were dozens of people, pale and tired. One of them stepped forward. It was Ahmed. Once he realized help had come, he told them everything. Ahmed and others had been lured onto the Voyager with promises of safe passage and work. Instead, they were trapped and forced into unpaid labor, living in horrifying conditions inside modified containers. Ahmed had tried to rebel and was punished, locked inside a container and thrown overboard. Before that, he recorded the message and sealed it in plastic, hoping someone would find it. Izzy and the undercover officers were horrified. They contacted the Coast Guard, who launched a surprise raid. The ship's crew was arrested and the victims were freed. When they docked at the nearest port, emergency services rushed in to provide food, shelter, and medical care. The story exploded in the media. A human trafficking operation hidden in plain sight had been uncovered thanks to one desperate message and the determination of a team of researchers who refused to look the other way. Izzy watched the news with a sense of quiet pride. What began as a strange sonar signal had become a life-saving mission. And thanks to her, dozens of lives were no longer hidden beneath the waves.